Have you ever noticed that you can't sprint forever? What would happen if you tried to sprint forever? You would poop out pretty fast and burn out. It's not possible to sprint forever, yet I see people all the time building their businesses, including myself, I've done this too, try to sprint, push, and get overwhelmed and burn out. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the trying to be superhuman burnout cycle, because I don't want that for you. I want you to be balanced, alive, and feel like you're creating a business that you love, not one that's caging you in a prison of being on a treadmill. That's exactly the opposite of what we want to create in our business. So that's what we're going to talk about today on Max Potential Habits. If it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Amanda Barrientez, the founder of NFA Coaching, the host of Max Potential Habits. This is your place to come each and every week for tips, tools, and inspirational interviews to help you optimize your habits so you can thrive in life and biz. And it is my favorite thing to do to notice the trends that are going on in not only with my clients and myself, but with what I see going on in the world, and to create actionable strategies to help you shift fast so that you can enjoy your life, right? We're not building businesses to hate what we do. We're not building businesses that become a prison of our, just recreating a job that we create on our own with super high stress. You can do entrepreneurship in a way that feels balanced and healthy and sane, or you can do it in a way where you feel like you're on a superhuman treadmill where you're trying so hard to move forward, but you're feeling stuck, or you start to feel super overwhelmed and overburdened, and then you don't even like what you're doing anymore. And then you question, is entrepreneurship for me? Maybe my business doesn't matter. Maybe what I have to offer to the world doesn't matter, because you think there's no way that I want to keep up this pace of sprinting for the rest of my life. And it doesn't work. I will say some people can handle more stress than others, but do we want to create a life and business where we're learning how to handle stress? I want to say that we want to know how to handle stress well so that we can, take things as they come, but we don't want to have a high stress life where we go, okay, let's figure out ways to just manage stress. We want to be in that optimal place at the boundary of challenge and support, so that we can optimally grow, right? So optimal growth occurs at the boundary of challenge and support. If we're overly challenging ourselves all the time by trying to be superhuman, we're going to burn out. If we're under challenging ourselves, over supporting, we're going to be stuck in comfort zone and we're never going to grow. So I want you to get off the superhuman burnout cycle by thinking about these things. So first, what does it look like practically to try to be superhuman? What I notice in people is that they're taking on way too much. First of all, they're putting a ton of stuff on their plates. They're not considering what they really enjoy doing, and they say yes to too many things. So this could look like you saying yes to every opportunity that comes your way, yes to every social media platform. You think you need to post everywhere and be everywhere, even if you're just getting started, or even if the platform doesn't even necessarily fit your model of business or have your target market. It's you thinking that you have to be everywhere. It's you saying yes to everything. It's you taking on too many projects every quarter or every year, where when you're planning, you put 15 things on the list, and it doesn't work because your attention is too scattered and your focused energy becomes very scattered and fearful and distracted and overwhelmed. And whenever we're overwhelmed, our brain goes into lockdown mode. It doesn't have the ability to be creative, right? So if you have too much on your plate, you're trying to sprint, it's almost like that survival mode threat. So when we're sprinting, it puts us into this state of hyper alertness, and not in a way where we're balanced and poised to respond in a way that's balanced and poised, or a way that's making you feel like, okay, I'm calm. I can have this stimulus coming my way and I can respond to it. Instead, we're in a reactive state. So we're hyper alert in this survival state because we've taken on so much and we're almost in a low level anxiety at all points in time. So that's what it feels like to try to be superhuman. It could be you thinking that you need to try to build your business overnight. You need overnight success. So you've got to push your way there. And you think like, if I just push really hard all the time, I can get there faster. And the truth is, yeah, you can get places faster when you push hard, but when you get to the finish line, how will you feel? I want you to think about that. If you're pushing hard all the time and you're noticing that what I'm saying rings true for you, I want you to think, okay, when I get there, will I be happy? Or do I need to be happy now and then get there? Because wherever you go, there you are, right? And if you have this pattern, you likely have had it your whole life. First you're drawn to NFA, no fucking around, right? So you might be an NFA person who tends to be a high achiever, takes on a lot. People always say, how do you get so much done? That could be you. And I want you to be careful in this zone, this is me too, of trying to be superhuman. Because NFA doesn't mean NFA push yourself into burnout where you hate what you're doing and you feel awful. Definitely not what that means. It means be NFA about creating a life you love, create the lifestyle you love, have room for relationships, have room for time with your kids, have room to sit and drink tea at the end of the night and relax instead of thinking you need to work until 10 o'clock every night. So those are superhuman symptoms. Superhuman symptoms would also be you just not stopping and thinking that once you get to a certain point, then you'll stop and take a break, and that point never comes. So this is usually a patterned thing for people. If you're a super procrastinator, let's say this episode might not resonate with you as much. But what will actually happen is if you push yourself too hard in the superhuman way, at some point you will start procrastinating because you will be so burnt out that you don't want to take action anymore. And you can't really even remember why you're taking action, and you start to question everything. So we just don't want to get you there. But I wanted to give you some symptoms of what it looks like. What are some of the causes? So some of the causes of trying to be superhuman are that you're trying to prove yourself. I want you to ask yourself, and it could be a multitude of these, so just think about what rings true for you. It could be that you're trying to prove yourself, to your family, to your friends, to other entrepreneurs, to the world. You might have this drive to go, I've got to do it all so that I'm seen as worthy, or so that I feel worthy within myself, so that I can be a more powerful breadwinner, so that, people take me seriously. You could have that belief that when I'm successful, everything will feel good. And so you're striving and constantly pushing that boulder uphill because you think somewhere at the top of that mountain, you're going to feel like a different person. But again, wherever you go, there you are. So what else causes this? Comparing yourself to other people. So when I started building my business, I had a habit of comparing myself to people who were 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead of me in this industry. And I'd be like, I gotta get there as fast as possible. I see the pot of gold at the top of the mountain and I can see it. I know how to get there. Like, push as hard as you can to get there as fast as you can. And I wouldn't say I got burnt out, but I started to feel tired and I started to notice I'm not energetically aligned. What if this journey to building a 7-figure business and impacting a minimum of 5 million people takes 10 years? Awesome. Like, it doesn't have to happen in my first 3 years. That was my original goal. And I've really been shifting my thinking around this because it was causing me to start to feel undue pressure. I think setting big goals is awesome because it's your point that you're inspired to get to, and it's your North Star. But the timeline in which you do it is sometimes placed on yourself as a form of, I'll be really worthy when I do it, or I'll be as good as the people around me who are doing it. And I want you to question those things. I want you to think about whether you're putting unrealistic expectations on yourself and then you feel bad all the time. It's not unrealistic to build a 7-figure business in 3 years, but also for me, coming from, not an online business background, no coaching history, learning social media. I didn't even know how to post something on Instagram when I started. Podcasting was new. Coaching people was new. All of it was new. So to go from that all the way to a 7-figure business in 3 years, totally possible. And how do I want to feel while I do it? It could happen next year. 2021 is my 3rd year. It could happen. Totally open to it happening. I'm still on track for those things happening, but I don't have this pressure on myself anymore that I need to be superhuman. And if it doesn't happen, somehow I haven't reached my goals, because I'm on my way to my goals. My success is inevitable. So is yours if you're balanced about it as you go consistently and strategically. And we'll talk about some action steps. So those are some of the causes. It's really question your unconscious beliefs. So if you have the unconscious belief that it's only meaningful if you worked really hard to get it, you're probably going to be a person who tries to be superhuman and gets burnt out. If you're a person who believes I've got to work hard to make money and it doesn't flow easily, you're probably going to be stuck in this superhuman burnout cycle. So really start thinking, am I stuck in scarcity thinking, believing that I've got to work hard to make money, believing that I'm not worthy if I don't get there fast, believing I'm not worthy if I set a lofty goal and don't get there as fast as I want, believing that I've got to work at all points in time to have a startup grow. Just start investigating your beliefs. Go back to episode 145 where I talked about it having I want to be holy shit rich mindset, because a lot of this is tied to money and your beliefs around money and your competing commitments around money if you're stuck in the superhuman burnout cycle. So what are some of the problems of trying to be superhuman? It leads to burnout, as I've said. So the biggest issue is that when you're trying to be superhuman, you're going to push and push and push and push. You're going to feel like you're in a constant sprint. You're going to have a really hard time relaxing. You could have relationship degradation where your relationships in your life start to fall apart. Your health suffers. You might not sleep as well at night, which affects your long-term immunity. It actually has a repellent effect to money, because you're not in a space of energetic joy and abundance. You're in a space of fear and scarcity, which actually repels money away from you. So it's actually going to take you longer to get there than if you slow down and take a more balanced approach. So we don't want that. What does building a successful business look like? And when I say successful, I mean a business that's built to last for the long haul. One where you're building a career that you love, where you're building a business that isn't a prison, where you're building a business that has meaning and purpose and value, where you can't wait to do your business. It's not one where you go, oh my God, I dread this because it's kicking my ass. You go, I can't wait to get up and work on my business. I can't wait to bring the world my products and services. And you enjoy it, and you have a lifestyle that's flowing and balanced. You have time for physical exercise. You have time to meditate. You have time to hang out with your kids, your partner, your friends, loved ones. You have time to stop and smell the roses, and you don't feel stressed about it. Like when you're relaxing, you're not thinking, I should be building my business. And when you're building your business, you're not beating yourself up about, oh, I should be spending time with my family or doing something else. So you're balanced. You feel energetically aligned. So I talk about this as NFA balance, right? So NFA, neuro freedom alignment balance, is where you don't have that level of anxiety all the time. And I know those of you listening or watching know what I'm talking about. Like that feeling of constant anxiety. That's you trying to be superhuman, and that's the universe giving you a signal that you are out of alignment. It's you getting feedback. If you have that constant anxious feeling, or you feel like I'm tired and I'm drained, that's the universe giving you feedback. I get it. I get it, because this is an issue for me too. Where I go, like, I wake up tired and like, what's going on here? I'm out of alignment, and I'm going to give you some actions to take if that's where you get stuck too. Building a successful business is you making strategic moves while you're living in your zone of genius, and you have energy, right? So you know that your energy, so you have physical energy, but I'm also talking about your energetic alignment. So when you're in a state of joy, flow, inspiration, faith, love, abundance, you have energetic alignment, and you're going to be much less motivated, which motivated is a funny word here, because motivation means you're using an external force to get you to do something. Instead, when you're in energetic alignment, you're going to be inspired from within. And you'll notice when you're not feeling inspired within, that is a symptom of you pushing too hard, potentially. There are other reasons that might be the case, but I just really want you to think, am I energetically aligned? One of my favorite mantras of all time that I created for the people I work with is to go, okay, we're creating a business that's the least effort for the most reward and the maximum fun. That's alignment. That's where you want to be in your business. And that's when you're not trying to be superhuman. You're just being you. You're showing up every day for the game of building your business. You're loving what you do. You're taking strategic daily action. You're committed. You're dedicated. And you know that you will get there. You set your goals and your vision for the long term and you go, I will absolutely get there. I am certain, with 100% certainty, I know that I will impact 5 million people through my business because I show up every day to do it. And I love what I'm doing. And I go, okay, when I take the pressure of like, I got to do it fast, I feel amazing. When I put the pressure on of I've got to do it by this point in time, and if I don't, oh crap, that makes me feel stressed out and try to be superhuman, which then causes the cycle where I start to feel tired and burnt out and overwhelmed and uninspired. And then it's like, why am I even doing this? I don't want that feeling. And so I don't want you to get stuck there either. So think least effort, most reward, max fun. And when I say least effort, I'm not saying you're not going to put in effort for your business. Of course you are. I'm saying the least effort for the most reward. So you want to find activities that give you that are the ratio of highest joy, most reward. So we're going to talk about this in action steps. So for action steps, I want you to just notice first if what I've said in this episode it resonates for you and you're like, oh yeah, I get that. Notice that. That's the first point of any change in your life, is noticing that something's out of alignment. So notice it. Then I want you to look at what you can delegate, automate, or drop. Okay, so when you're trying to be superhuman, you usually take on too much. You usually think you need to do it all. I want you to look at, where can I delegate? Where can I delegate this to somebody else who's just as good as I am at this activity that I don't need to be doing? I want to be in my zone of genius and have other people doing the stuff in their zone of genius. Where can I automate something? Systems. We're talking systems here. So create systems to help you automate and or drop. I promise you, if you take some time today to look at what you're doing in your life and business, and you notice there's places where you're doing activities for the sake of thinking you should do them, someone else told you you should, or you just got stuck in this habitual rut of doing them because, whatever the root problem is, look at it and ask yourself, can this be dropped? Drop anything that doesn't bring you inspiration. And if you can't drop it, let's say like everyone needs to do bookkeeping in their business, but it's not your thing, hire a bookkeeper. Hire a bookkeeper. You need to keep track of your money, but you don't have to necessarily be the one doing that. You want to sit down with your bookkeeper and be aware of what's going on with your financial situation, so you have high FQ, financial intelligence, but you don't necessarily have to be doing every part. So could you delegate it? Could you automate it? Or could you drop it? An example of dropping something, let's say you're on several social media platforms and they're causing you stress, drop one of them. Get really, really good at one. Become an expert at LinkedIn and just focus your energy there for a year and see what happens. So don't think you need to take it all on. So look at what can be delegated, automated, or dropped. Ask yourself to do this. What's helpful is to ask yourself, what's really moving the needle forward? Like, look at all of your activities and think which ones are really moving the needle forward. Ask yourself, what brings me the most joy for the highest ROI, return on investment, and do more of that. So when you wake up and you do your business day, what's bringing you the most joy and bringing you an ROI reward? Do more of that, because what we focus on expands. So if you're focusing on the things that bring you joy and money, you want to expand that. Work on your competing commitments. And when I say work on that, get conscious about what's blocking you by asking yourself and noticing. If you're noticing yourself stuck in this hard work cycle where you have the superhuman problem and you start to burn out, that means you have competing commitments going on. And I want you just to start getting conscious. Go back through episodes where I talk about these things to help yourself out and actually do, practice the action steps I give you, go through the exercises. Of course, I say this every time, innerbossbootcamp.com helps you with all of these things. And also Mindset Church, We work on this stuff every week too. So nfamindsetchurch.com or innerbossbootcamp.com. If you want to do it on your own, read books, listen to podcasts, go back through my episodes. And I want you to focus on alignment. You will know that you're in alignment when you feel energetic, alive, inspired, thriving, love, gratitude, appreciation, and wanting to be engaged in your business every day. It's not you questioning, should I do this? Do I want to do this? Why am I doing this? It's you going like, yes, 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 yes. Life and business are awesome. That's alignment. So that's how you know. All right, if you love what you're getting here, it would be so incredibly awesome, and I would be very grateful if you would leave a review, share it with people in your network. I really can't wait to have this Max Potential Habits be well known in the world. We're growing and growing exponentially every month. Thank you to you. Please share it. Please leave a written review. And if you want to be entered into the raffle, take a screenshot of your review and send it to mphraffle@nfacoaching.com. All this is in the show note links so that you know where to send it, and then you'll be entered into the monthly raffle. You're awesome. I hope you have an incredible week where you drop your belief that you need to be superhuman to succeed, and you step into alignment so you can thrive and feel alive and max your potential. NFA high fives.